standing for the national anthem, please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, you are all welcome to the great and historic city of Kano. We are reaching you live from Mumbai House in Kano State. And I remain Sani Tukur. And as earlier I told you, tonight we are joined by two very important guests. The ACN presidential candidate, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, and the Vice Presidential running mate, Mustafola Adiola. Shall we please give them a round of applause? Thank you. Tonight, our audience here, and indeed those at home and all over the world, you have an opportunity to ask your questions directly to the candidates. We have been asking you all along to send your questions via the World Wide Web. And some of the responses we have gotten are here, and we are going to give them directly to the candidates. But before we do that, please also help me in welcoming the National Secretary of the Action Congress of Nigeria, Senator Lawal Shaibu. We also have in our midst Malam Musa Godebe, the Chief Strongman of ACN in Kano State and Elder Statesman. So, as I said, we are fine behind schedule and we only have 1 hour to run this program. So we are going straight into the business of the day. And we are going to, for the benefit of those who have just arrived, we have 5 broad categories or areas where we have questions outlined to be answered, which includes unemployment and poverty, power, corruption and governance, education, security, and free and fair elections. And as I've also said, we have already received the questions here marked, and I'm going to start calling out names that immediately. So if you hear your name, all you need to do is to simply get a mic from the lady close to you and then ask your question. The first question is unemployment, is based on unemployment and poverty, and is directed at the presidential candidate. The first question goes to Abdullahi Shehu, who is a core member. Mr. Abdullahi Shehu. Kindly identify yourself by raising your hand so that they will come and give you the mic. If he's not around, we'll quickly go to Mr. Hayatuddin Aliyu. Mr. Hayatuddin Aliyu. Mr. Hayatuddin Aliyu is not around? And I have a third question that is directed at the vice presidential candidate. And that question is from Mr. Fahad Lawal Abdul Aziz. Fahad Lawal Abdul Aziz. These are easygoing guys. You don't have to lose your liver. Just ask them. They are here for you. Not here? Okay. Let me quickly run to power. And the first question is for Aisha Mohammed, if she's around. Aisha Mohammed. I want to believe that people feel these questions at the point of registration. Anyway, is Mr. Yasir Ramadan Gwale around? Okay, he is around. You have one minute to ask your question, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Yasir Ramadan Gwale from Gwale Local Government, Kano State. First of all, I would like to welcome the presidential candidate and his running mate, May Nasara Malam Nuhuribadu and the Malam Alaji Tajuddin Adiola. My question is, can your government solve the problem of power within 1 year? That is my question.
This question is actually directed to the presidential candidate, please.
Okay, so, and lastly, I wish you good and luck, not good luck.
Good evening. Very good evening to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir, thank you very much for your question. I've received so many questions, very, very similar on power, and it's something that concerns and worries all of us. I've received it through my Twitter. I've received it through telephones, text messages. Today, I've had about 4 of such questions. People asking me, what is it? What can we do about power? Yes, it's a big problem to all of us. But I can assure you, the Action Congress of Nigeria, as a party, do have a program. We also, we have our own program. We are going to go head on to address the problem of electricity. We are not going to give time. We will not say within 1 year we are going to solve the problem. But certainly from the very first day we get into work, we are going to tackle the problem of electricity. And we have been working. Already we have worked on the power problem. We have understood the problems. And we do intend to sort them out as we get in there. Just vote for us and we will do it for you. We have seen the biggest problem today is that of even disorganization. Today, you don't even know who is in charge of the power sector in Nigeria. The president is there, and he said he is the minister of power. He has 2 or 3 other government agencies called different names doing the same thing. He has an advisor and also a minister of state. Today, no one clearly is in charge of the power sector. We are going to sort out that problem, and we are going to have one direct, responsible office that is going to carry out and is going to be according to the law. That is 1. 2, we are going to make sure that the contractors and those who are given this responsibility of building up these power stations, particularly the 13 power stations that in the recent years that the government of Nigeria gave out, will do the work. The money that we have spent will make sure that you get value for it. The disorganization that is ongoing now will be sorted out. The problem of total disconnection between distribution, transmission, and production will be addressed. We have identified that as a major problem, inability to coordinate and address all the problems at the same time. If you address problem of production without touching on transmission, you are not going to get electricity. If you leave distribution out, certainly you are not going to get electricity. These 3 problems are going to be all addressed at the same time. We are going to work on the problem of sabotage. It is a big problem, especially in the last 3-4 years. There are areas in this country, some parts of the country where it is literally impossible for you to do anything. And most of the power stations today are in those areas. We have to address it. We have to find a way of protecting and making sure they are safe in a way that you will be able to get result, or whatever that is coming out from there will be useful. We are going to address that. 4, we are also going to work on diversification. We are going to make sure that we are not going to rely on one source of power. We will look at other areas. There are some particular simple ways that today you'll be able to generate electricity in a small way that will be able to address within the locality. For example, use solar. Solar is available. We have some parts of this country all year round sun that you don't even have to buy. It is out there. We can use, for example, what we have in this country, the dams, hydro. Hydroelectricity is the cheapest you can get today in the world. We have the waters and we have the rivers. We do not have to make big ones. We could do small ones that could generate 10 megawatts, 20, 15 across the country. They are not going to be too expensive. They will not cost so much. You'll be able to produce for a locality. And with that, you are going to free yourself from problem of dependence on one source. Those are some of the basic things that will be able to give us light immediately without wasting time. More importantly, we'll address the waste that is taking place today in that sector. Some of these things are not really rocket science. They are simple ability for you to get quality, competent people with honesty and transparency and accountability in governance. You need just competent people, honest people, those who are going to put selfish interests aside and deliver. This, I can assure you, is going to be what we are going to do, and we will certainly get you electricity. We are not going to tell you we are going to do it in 1 year, but rest you assured, the day we get in there, we will never rest. We will never take a day off unless we are able to get you electricity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. The next question is still on power and is coming from Bello Rilwan Babangida. Bello Rilwan Babangida is here. If Bello is not around, do we have Nafiu Sani Abbas? Nafiu Sani Abbas, still on power. He's not available. Nafiu Sani Abbas, you have a question on power. I even have the question written here. Perhaps he may not be able to read it. Let me read it, and it goes to the presidential candidate. He said, Mr. President to be, my question is, if elected into office, how can you tackle the issue of national power generation that is private power station and government owned? Perhaps he's talking about PPP as far as power is concerned. Mr. President, please try to give answer that will satisfy those with votes. I wish you good luck for the coming election.
Well, thank you very much. It's the same subject that an issue that I just addressed. You are right. The future belongs to private-public participation. We have to find a way because it is capital intensive. Government alone will not be able to shoulder the responsibility of generating electricity and making it available to our own homes. We have to find a way of bringing in private participation. We have seen it already. Today, over 1,000 megawatts certainly is being produced by the private sector. Lagos State alone is producing close to about 230 or so megawatts. I know River State is already involved and Akwa Ibom. There are also private companies that are coming up. We need to encourage them. We need to make sure that we connect it with what government is doing as well. We have seen it happen in generations. And I understand that government is also supporting people to come in the transmission. What is left out and is still in government monopoly is the distribution. I believe that also we need to look at it because it's going to give confidence that those who are going to produce, particularly if it is going to be private sector and transmit, will also want to see less government monopoly in the distribution. It's an area that we need to look into because it will give confidence to those who are producing. I believe the future lies with the private sector, not just in electricity and power generation, but everything because it's the powers of the private sector can grow this economy. It is the power of private sector can generate employment for our people. It is the private sector that is specialized and then can do well in business. It is not government. Government must pay more attention to regulatory responsibilities and also providing those basic things like security, law and order, organized way of running government, international relations and things like that. Whatever it has production in the society, I think private sector should be encouraged. The government of SCN, we do intend to maximize that direction and make sure that we bring in the private sector, support it, make it very, very conducive, reorganize the system, improve the environment, bring in the private sector to participate fully. I agree with you, yes, sir. The future belongs to the private sector, and we are going to certainly encourage that.
Thank you, sir. Let us now move to corruption and good governance. If there's one thing that can be said to be a hindrance to Nigeria's development today, it has to be corruption, which invariably led to bad governance at almost all levels. The ACN presidential candidate is known for his dogged fight against corruption. I'm sure many people have questions bothering them regarding that squad. And the first question goes to Lawal Bello Lawal, who is a student of Usman Danfodio University. Is he around? Okay.
Mr. President, to be, sir,
yes,
my able audience, I have a question, one question for, please, for corruptions and other question for pertaining education. I'm sorry for mixing these two questions. The first question is that, sir, you have been quoted by different newspapers and radio stations that you have said that you don't care about the integrity of those people that are supporting your movement. Sir, how would you respond about this? Is it true? And my second question, sir, is that, please, we, the student body, that we are 100% in support of you. Not only the student body, even the students that are at home, that are in support of you. Sir, how can you assure us that if, by God's grace, you have been in that office as the president, will you be able to turn back the registration or the education program as free as it is, that is 20, 30 years back, which is now is not free? We are finding it difficult to pay. Thank you, sir.
Lawal, thank you very much. And this is very encouraging. And I am totally in agreement with you. Education probably is the biggest challenge confronting us as people. Some of us enjoyed free and fair election and education. All my life, I've never paid for any, in all the through, my education, right from primary school, secondary school, up to university. I believe that you are entitled to that. It is your own entitlement. It is your own right. We are going to work and to ensure that education will be as free as we can possibly make it. It is going to be one of the central focus of this of our administration. It is already there in the Action Congress of Nigeria program, and we do intend to implement it. We will work to make sure that the young men and young women growing up in this country will also benefit like their own parents. All of us enjoyed free and fair elections, and that made a huge difference for us and the country. It is going to be that, and we are going to work on it. On the first question you asked, I didn't say that. I did not. I did not. I never said that I do not have any problem with anybody coming to give me money for our campaign. No. What I said was that I joined politics, and that I'm a Nigerian. And all Nigerians are entitled to participate. I've come, I mean well, I want to make sure that I want to see that this country improve. I do intend to work hard, and that Nigerians are entitled to also feel the same like me. Nigerians can participate. Nigerians can play a role. And that anybody with good intentions for this country will want to see a better country, I welcome to be a partner with him in the improvement of our own country. I have never said, and I'll repeat again, I did not say that I'm ready to take money from anybody, including those from questionable source. I will not. That is not my life, and it is too late for me to change as a person. So far, we have run this campaign on clean money. It's the small, little contributions that people are giving. Young men and young women like you. But you can also see, it's not that it is a very rich campaign. It's not a campaign that has been flaunting money like others. We are not PDP. PDP, we have just learned that they spend at least 100 million naira daily in their own campaign. I doubt very much if we spend even 1% of that, or anywhere close to what they are spending. My belief, elections and indeed campaigns about people. If you have the people, you have the money. And today we have the people. We have the young men and the young women. We have good Nigerians who are supporting us. We have people who are making sacrifice, who are putting in their time, their energy, and the little resources that they have. This is what is making a difference in the campaign we are running. I did not say that. You know, in politics, people do all sorts of things to bring you down. I've seen it happen. But I can assure you, that is not a statement from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Still on power, perhaps, the last or second to the last question. Do we have Salihu Ibrahim? Yeah, Salihu Ibrahim, I believe, has a question for the VP.
Good evening, Mr. President and the Vice President to be, inshallah. Sir, my question goes like this. I have two questions. Number one is pertaining your position on Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I want to ask you a question on that, sir, and I need clarification from it. Did you ever mention Ahmed Bola Tinubu as being corrupt during your days as the EFCC chairman? And secondly, sir, why your position on, why your choice for Mr. Fola Adiola as your running mate? Is he the most incorruptible person in Nigeria? I need clarification there, sir. Thank you.
Fola, I take this for a compliment. Well, thank you very much. On the first question about Senator Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I did not, and I have never said that he's a corrupt person. No, I didn't say so. And I will not say it, because I've never found, or I've never investigated him and found him to be a corrupt person. What I said, and luckily for me, you know, Senator Lawal Shaibu is sitting just right in front of me. He was the one that invited me then as the chairman of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. And then he was the chairman of the Senate Committee on EFCC and other agencies like that. They invited me to come and give account of the investigations we were then carrying out in respect of public office holders. And that was when the issue of Tinubu and so many others came up. We gave a total report, complete report of all the states in Nigeria then. And when it came to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what I said was, as at that time, the investigation that I knew that was going on was that of international dimension. It was the Metropolitan Police of UK, London, that was then investigating him. Of course, we were doing our own work. And I never said at that time that I found him corrupt. I said I knew Metropolitan Police of London was then investigating him. And I knew, even after that, they invited him. They interrogated him. And they did not find anything against him. London Police is not under anybody in Nigeria. Metropolitan Police is independent. I believe if they had got on anything against him, they probably would have brought him to justice. There are people in this country that will not be able to go to the UK. Bola Tinubu goes to London every day. And I believe that is a clear position of what really happened. But it's not just Bola Tinubu. There are so many other public office holders. We investigated that time. We cautioned them. But we are not in the business of cooking up things. If we don't get anything, rest you assured, at the time when I was at the EFCC, we will never bring up anything against you simply because we want to bring you to justice. It wasn't him alone. There are other public office holders who are not brought to justice, who are not arraigned before any court. And therefore, to continue to talk about the politics, I understand it's politics. It is politics. I know PDP today has targeted him. He is number one. They bring whatever they can, and it helps them to play their own politics. I believe that is what is going on. I have absolutely nothing other than respect and regard for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I know he has done a lot for democracy. If you see what is happening today in Lagos State, if you see what is happening in Edo State, if you see what is happening in Ekiti State, if you see what is happening in Osun State, you will have to also agree with me that he has done a lot for democracy in our country. I am okay with that. I stand by what is right and just. I never accuse anybody simply because it is convenient or it is okay or play politics with the work I did. I have not done it. I am okay. On the issue of the choice of Fola Adiola, you have seen him. You have heard him before, and you are going to hear him. You will agree with me that I have done a good choice because I've taken my time. One of the first major responsibility of a candidate is to choose a running mate. The running mate will be an indication or a sign of what the government is going to look like. I've gone for a very competent person who worked hard and has something to show for the work he did. I've gone